The night felt different again tonight, didn't it? Not louder, not dramatic, just different in a way your spirit could not ignore. Something inside you has been shifting quietly while the world continued moving as if nothing had changed. And that is exactly why you were guided here at this moment. Chosen one, I need you to stop everything else and listen carefully, because what is unfolding around your life right now is not ordinary. The battles you have been fighting recently were never just about people, circumstances, money, betrayal, or stress. Those were only the visible layers. Beneath everything happening around you, there has been a spiritual examination taking place. And what heaven discovered about you during this season shocked even the highest realms of light. Because despite everything that was sent to drain you, discourage you, silence you, and break your spirit, you continued to carry a light that darkness could not extinguish. You kept moving forward when every voice around you expected you to collapse. You kept choosing peace when chaos would have been easier. And now something extraordinary has been activated over your life because of it. There was a moment recently that seemed small to everyone else around you, but in the spiritual realm it was recorded as a turning point. It happened during a situation where you were deeply wounded. Someone disappointed you, someone misunderstood you, someone failed to appreciate your loyalty after everything you gave. You had every reason to become cold, every reason to shut your heart completely, every reason to respond with anger and bitterness. But instead of allowing pain to transform you into someone unrecognizable, you made a decision that revealed the true nature of your soul. You remained kind when cruelty surrounded you. You remained calm when pressure tried to consume you. And although nobody around you understood the strength that required, heaven understood it perfectly. That single decision created a reaction in the spiritual realm that you never saw with your physical eyes. Because most people only remain good when life treats them gently, but you remained good while being tested. And that is what separated you from the crowd. Chosen one, there are millions of souls on earth, but very few are able to maintain purity of heart while walking through seasons of pain. Most people become whatever hurt them. Betrayed people become betrayers. Angry people spread anger. Broken people break others. But you carried a different frequency. Even while exhausted, you still cared. Even while overwhelmed, you still protected others. Even while silently fighting your own battles, you still tried to encourage people around you, and heaven recorded every single moment of it. The tears nobody saw, the prayers nobody heard, the nights you questioned everything but still refused to surrender your spirit completely. All of it was witnessed. All of it was documented, and what impressed the spiritual realm most was that you continued showing integrity even when you thought nobody was watching. Your guardian angel has been monitoring this season of your life very closely, not casually, intensely. There were moments when forces of darkness expected you to finally snap under the pressure. They believed isolation would weaken you. They believed disappointment would poison your heart. They believed exhaustion would finally disconnect you from your purpose. But every attack revealed something unexpected about you. Instead of becoming weaker, your spirit became more refined. Instead of becoming hateful, you became wiser. Instead of losing yourself, you started discovering who you truly are. And when your guardian angel realized the level of resilience your soul was demonstrating under pressure, your case was elevated for higher observation. This was not ordinary spiritual attention anymore. This became something far more significant. Archangel Michael himself reviewed the spiritual warfare surrounding your life, and what caught his attention immediately was not your talent, your intelligence, or your potential. It was your attitude during battle, because many people can remain faithful during seasons of blessing, but very few can remain faithful while carrying invisible wounds. Very few can continue showing love while secretly bleeding emotionally. Michael observed how darkness kept trying to provoke you into becoming reactive, bitter, and destructive. But again and again you resisted becoming what attacked you. That is rare, extremely rare. In spiritual warfare, the greatest victories are not always loud victories. Sometimes the greatest victory is simply refusing to let darkness change your nature. And that is exactly what you accomplished. There were moments recently when you almost gave up completely. You smiled in front of people while privately feeling emotionally exhausted. You questioned whether your kindness even mattered anymore. You wondered if being genuine in a cold world was simply making life harder for you. But every time you reached the edge emotionally, something deeper inside refused to let you completely fall apart. That was not weakness. That was divine preservation. Heaven has been protecting something inside you because your spirit carries an assignment bigger than you currently understand. The enemy did not attack you this intensely for no reason. Darkness only targets people whose future carries light powerful enough to disrupt its plans. And whether you realized it or not, your endurance has already begun shifting things in the spiritual atmosphere around your life. Have you noticed how strange certain events have become recently? People who tried to harm you suddenly exposing themselves, situations that looked impossible unexpectedly resolving, doors closing without your effort, confusing relationships fading away naturally. There is a reason for that. Heaven has begun reorganizing your environment. Certain people cannot continue into the next season prepared for your life because their energy is incompatible with your calling. Some individuals were assignments to test your discernment, not permanent companions. And while losing people may have hurt deeply, many of those separations were actually acts of protection. You thought you were being abandoned, but in reality, you were being redirected. You thought doors were closing against you, but heaven was quietly preventing distractions from delaying your destiny. Chosen one, there is another reason heaven has been observing you so carefully. You have reached a dangerous stage spiritually. Dangerous not for you, but for darkness, because you are beginning to understand your own value. For years, attacks succeeded because you underestimated yourself. You questioned your worth, you tolerated disrespect, you accepted less than what your spirit deserved because you did not fully recognize who you were. But recently, something shifted internally. You started seeing patterns more clearly. You started recognizing manipulation faster. You started protecting your peace instead of constantly sacrificing it to keep others comfortable. And this awakening terrified the spiritual forces that benefited from your self-doubt. Because a chosen one who finally recognizes their own power becomes extremely difficult to control. This is why your isolation season was necessary. You wondered why certain friendships disappeared, why you suddenly felt disconnected from environments you once enjoyed, why conversations that once entertained you started feeling empty. It is because your spirit has been evolving. Heaven has been pulling you away from noise so your discernment could sharpen. There are truths you could never hear while constantly surrounded by distractions. So separation became part of your preparation. Loneliness was never punishment. Silence was never abandonment. It was refinement. Your soul needed distance from confusion so clarity could fully emerge inside you. And now you are beginning to understand things you once overlooked completely. One of the greatest signs of your transformation is the peace you now carry during situations that once would have destroyed your emotional stability. Think about it carefully. Months ago, certain circumstances would have consumed your mind completely. Certain betrayals would have shattered your confidence. Certain delays would have filled you with panic. But now there is a strange calmness developing inside you, not because life suddenly became easy, but because your spirit has matured. You are learning that not every battle deserves your energy. You are learning that silence can be more powerful than reaction. You are learning that protecting your peace is sometimes the highest form of spiritual warfare, and heaven has been deeply impressed by this growth. There is also something else happening that you need to understand. Your intuition has been increasing dramatically. You are sensing things before they happen, feeling energies more intensely, recognizing hidden motives faster. Sometimes you walk into a room and instantly know when something feels wrong. Sometimes your spirit warns you about people before your mind can explain why. This is not coincidence. Your spiritual awareness is expanding because heaven is preparing you for greater responsibility. Chosen ones cannot walk blindly forever. At some point, discernment must sharpen. At some point, inner wisdom must awaken. And that awakening is happening inside you right now. Archangel Michael specifically noted something extraordinary in your spiritual assessment. Despite everything you endured, your heart did not become permanently hardened. Do you understand how rare that is? Many people survive difficult seasons, but survival alone means nothing spiritually if pain transforms them into bitter versions of themselves. But you remained capable of empathy. You still wanted to help others. You still desired genuine connection. Even after disappointment, part of you still believed in goodness. That is what separated you spiritually from many others walking through similar battles. You protected your heart without completely closing it, and heaven considers that a major victory. Chosen one, accelerated movement has now been activated over your life. This means things that once felt delayed will begin shifting rapidly. Opportunities will appear unexpectedly. Divine connections will emerge naturally. Areas that remained stagnant for years will suddenly start moving forward. But understand this clearly. Acceleration does not only bring blessings, it also exposes anything misaligned with your future. So some relationships may end suddenly. Certain habits may feel impossible to continue. Old environments may start feeling uncomfortable. This is not chaos. This is alignment. Heaven is repositioning your life to match the level your spirit has reached. And there is something coming soon that will confirm everything you have been sensing internally. A conversation, an opportunity, a breakthrough, a revelation. Something is approaching that will make you realize your recent struggles were not random at all. Every delay was shaping your discernment. Every betrayal was teaching you boundaries. Every lonely night was strengthening your connection with the divine. Nothing was wasted. Even your pain carried purpose. Even your confusion was preparing you for clarity. Heaven does not allow chosen ones to suffer without transformation emerging from it eventually. You have also entered a season where your presence itself carries influence. People will begin feeling different around you, even if they cannot explain why. Your energy will expose hidden intentions naturally. Some people will feel comforted near you. Others will become uncomfortable without understanding the reason. This is because your spiritual frequency has changed. You are no longer operating from desperation and emotional dependency the way you once did. There is strength developing in your silence now. There is wisdom forming in your restraint. There is authority growing in your spirit. And heaven intends to use that influence to help awaken others walking through darkness. Many people connected to your future are going to need your example, not perfection. Example. They need to see someone who walked through betrayal without becoming cruel, someone who faced rejection without losing dignity, someone who survived pressure without abandoning faith completely. Your story will become evidence that resilience is possible, that healing is possible, that transformation is possible. And this is why your battles were so intense. Your life carries impact far beyond your personal comfort. The way you survive hardship teaches others how to survive theirs. The spiritual realm has officially marked this chapter of your life as a transition season. The old version of you cannot continue into the future prepared for you. Too much has changed internally now. Your standards are changing. Your discernment is changing. Your priorities are changing. And although transformation can feel uncomfortable, it is necessary. You prayed for growth, but growth requires shedding. You prayed for elevation, but elevation requires separation. You prayed for purpose, but purpose demands preparation. Everything happening around you now is connected to those prayers, whether you realize it or not. There will still be tests ahead. Do not misunderstand this message as a promise that life will suddenly become effortless. But the difference now is that your spirit has matured enough to handle battles differently. You are no longer reacting emotionally to every challenge. You are learning to observe before responding, to pray before panicking, to discern before trusting. That wisdom changes everything. Darkness loses power when emotional chaos no longer controls you. And heaven knows you are beginning to master this lesson. Chosen one, never forget this truth. The reason your spirit attracted so much opposition is because your existence carries disruptive light. There is something about your presence that awakens people, challenges systems, exposes deception, inspires transformation. Even when you feel ordinary, your energy affects environments more than you realize. And that is why heaven protected you through moments that should have destroyed you. Your journey is not over. In many ways, it is only beginning. The final message recorded over your life during this spiritual observation was simple but powerful. This soul continued choosing light while surrounded by darkness. That sentence now follows your spiritual record, not because you were perfect, not because you never struggled, but because despite your struggles, you kept trying to remain aligned with goodness. You kept fighting to protect your spirit, and heaven honors that more than you know. So as you move forward from this moment, stop questioning whether your silent battles mattered. They did. Stop wondering whether your private tears were seen. They were. Stop believing your endurance was meaningless. It was not. Every choice you made during your darkest moments revealed the true composition of your soul, and what heaven discovered within you changed everything. Chosen one, your next season will not look like your last season. The weight is lifting, the confusion is clearing, the preparation phase is ending, and the strength you developed through every hidden battle is about to become visible in ways you never expected. Stay alert, stay grounded, stay connected to the peace growing inside you, because heaven is not finished with your story yet.